We begin Chapter 9, Raja Guhya Yoga, the Yoga of the Greatest Secret. Namo Acharya Simhaya Gauradaya Swarupane Susadanta Prakashaya Kudarshana Vinashane. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namane. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Verse 1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam tu te guyatamam Pravakshamyana suyave Gyanam vigana sahitam Yajnatva moksha se shubhat. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, "Because you are not envious, I shall now explain to you the greatest of all secrets. I shall explain this knowledge and its realization, knowing which you shall become free from all inauspiciousness." Verse 2. Raja Vidya Rajaguyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. This is the greatest of all knowledge, Raja Vidya, and the greatest of all secrets, Raja Guhya. It is most purifying and most excellent. This path of Dharma is directly perceived. It is simple to practice and imperishable. Verse 3. Ashradadana Purusha Dharma Shasha Parantapa Aprapyamam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. O vanquisher of the enemy, those that lack faith in this path of Dharma can never attain me and are forced to be reborn in the continuous cycle of birth and death. Anuvritti commentary by His Divine Grace Jagad Swami Bhakti Gaurava Narasingha Maharaj. Now Sri Krishna will emphasize to Arjuna what he considers to be the greatest guhya or secret of the yoga system, so that any remaining doubt that Arjuna may still harbor might be dispelled. This has already been mentioned in previous chapters, but now Krishna will make it definite. Sri Krishna is the absolute truth, the cause of creation, the origin of all living beings, the controller, the object of knowledge, the mantra Om, and so forth. One who knows this in his heart of hearts and lives solely by such a creed will surely attain Krishna. This is the positive incentive. The negative incentive is also explained by Krishna, that those who are not fixed in him will be reborn in the cycle of birth and death. In verse 3, Krishna uses the word ashradadana. Shraddha means faith, and ashraddha means without faith. This describes those who do not have the resolute determination to perform bhakti yoga. Of such persons, Krishna says that they will continue in the cycle of samsara. That is not to say that they are damned to some eternal hell, but simply put, they cannot attain the platform of liberation. First, it is important to understand that Shraddha is not to be confused with the belief or mundane faith that is usually associated with a particular religion, such as Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, or Hinduism. Christian faith, Muslim faith, Hindu faith, etc., implies a belief in a particular set of moral ideals, myths, superstitions, and dogmas, but Shraddha is something entirely different. Shrat dadati iti shraddha. That which leads to truth and self-realization is known as Shraddha. Shraddha is developed by associating with saintly persons who are self-realized and free from the contamination of material nature. In such association, the conviction develops that by surrender and taking shelter of Krishna, all other purposes are served. Without such shraddha and fixed determination, one cannot follow the path of bhakti yoga. Verse 4. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadabhyakta murtina matstani sarva bhutani nachaham te savastitaha. I pervade the entire cosmos through my unmanifest form. All living beings are supported by me, but I am not supported by them. Verse 5. Nacha matstani bhutani pashame yogam aishvaram bhuta brinacha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my divine powers. Although I am the origin of all living beings and I maintain them, I am not influenced by them nor by my material nature. Verse 6. Yata kashastito nityam vayu sarvatra gomahan tata sarvani bhutani matstanityupadaraya. Try to understand that just as the mighty wind rests within the vast expanse of the sky, similarly, all beings rest within me. Verse 7. Sarva bhutani konteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpaksai punastani kalpadavrisrijam yaham. O son of Kunti, at the end of a day of Brahma, all living beings enter into me. I manifest them again at the beginning of a new creation. Verse 8. Prakritim smamavastabhya visrijami puna punaha bhutagramam imam krishnam avasham prakritir vashat. Because I control material nature, I continuously manifest the living beings that are helplessly manipulated by their natures. Verse 9. Nachamam tani karmani nibadananti dananjaya udashina vadashinam asaktam teshu karmasu. O Dhananjaya, such actions cannot bind me. I am detached and indifferent to these activities. Verse 10. Maya yakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena konteya jagat viparivartate. Under my command, material nature produces the universe with all its moving and non-moving beings. O son of Kunti, because of this, the universe continually manifests. Anuvritti commentary by Srila Guru Maharaj. Everyone acts in the material world, and everyone is held responsible for their actions by the laws of material nature or the laws of karma. Newton's third law of physics states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. At a glance, this sounds like a good definition of karma, but karma is much more complicated than that. The saying, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, also does not accurately define the laws of action and reaction. Karma is far more intricate and complicated than a simple one-on-one analogy can provide. Suffice to say that when one performs an action, he is held responsible and thus liable for the reaction, whatever that may be. Material nature may therefore be considered superior to the energy of the living beings, in that the living beings have no control over material nature. People are expert in exploiting nature, yet they cannot control the adverse reactions that result from it. Sri Krishna, on the other hand, does not incur karma or a reaction when he acts, because material nature is always under his control. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Verse 11. Avajananti mamuda manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mamabhuta maheshvaram. Because they do not know my divine nature as the supreme controller of all living beings, those who are ignorant mock me when I assume a human form. Verse 12. Mogasha moga karmano moga gana vichitasaha rakshasim asurim jaiva prakritim mohinim shritaha. All their aspirations, activities, and knowledge are futile and senseless. Such persons adopt a contemptible, malicious nature and become bewildered. Verse 13. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivam prakritam ashritaha. Bhajantyayananya manaso jnatva bhutadim avyayam. However, those great personalities who do take shelter of my divine nature worship me with a steady mind and know me to be the imperishable origin of all beings. Verse 14. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. They are always glorifying me, endeavoring with determination, and firmly fixed in their vows. Offering their obeisances to me with devotion, such bhakti yogis always worship me. Verse 15. Gana yajnena kapyanye yajanto mam upasate ekatvena pritakvena bahuda vishvato mukam. Others worship me with the sacrifice of knowledge, considering themselves to be non-different from me. Others worship me in many different forms, while others venerate me as the universal form. Anuvritti commentary by Srila Guru Maharaj. Those that derive the message of Bhagavad Gita are referred to as muda, or having a foolish mentality. Intelligent persons, when confronted with the scope of knowledge in Bhagavad Gita, will surely be in agreement or at least charmed. For this reason, Bhagavad Gita is the most widely read literature on theistic science in the world. Atheism is certainly not a new phenomena, as there have always been such thinkers since ancient times. Yet atheism in modern times seems driven more as a reaction to fanatical religious dogma than by rational argument. Indeed, oftentimes the arguments of the atheists are as irrational as those of religious fanatics. When presented with an intelligent proposal, a rationalist should be willing to accept it, regardless of where that proposal leads, even if it leads to undermine his atheistic worldview. Such would be the mentality of a real seeker of truth or science. For the most part, in the modern arena of debate between theists and atheists, the student of Bhagavad Gita would not side with either because both are predominantly ignorant of higher knowledge. Coming in contact with Bhagavad Gita, both the atheists and religious fanatics are silenced because within the Gita lies the most definitive knowledge of the absolute truth ever revealed to the world.